We're back.
Here it is, guys. 2017, January the
6th.
Halfway through summer. Anyone said a 30 plus day?
Well, it's just is what it is, isn't it? But we've got Warwick Farm tomorrow. We had Canterbury last Saturday. Welcome to the Friday preview.
Yeah, great, guys. How was everything? Sweet.
Great break and great to be back as well. So all good.
Well, Gord's been complaining about having to do the show. It's costing you money.
What do you mean? Costing you money, is it?
Oh, you just sort of do things a little bit differently, that's all. You know, I'm used to just laying on the lounge in my undies again, so, you know.
It's only ever 5 minutes away, knowing this joint. Bit of rain, mate. What's the story?
Yeah, you must have been excited when you woke to
I
the...
get excited with the rain, but then I get a bit too excited and I get worried.
Yeah, well, it's like yesterday morning, there was a bit of, not this sort of rain, but there was a bit of rain, held up the cricket. And then the sun comes out and everything hunky-dory. It'll be like that today, I imagine. So sky hasn't fallen in yet, but we're given that they keep the water up to the tracks, any rain that falls on these tracks renders them rain affected. Yeah. So Warwick Farm rail true. You won't want to be going near the fence.
Okay, that'll be exciting.
Yeah,
that's the stuff.
Yeah, because Warwick Farm needs to be fast for it to be rail true, and you know.
Yeah,
okay. So this is the same map orientated, is it? We're just looking for wide barriers?
Well,
it is map orientated, isn't it?
Yes, but we're always looking for wide barriers, aren't we? Everywhere we go, we're looking for wide barriers. We're just hoping that the track plays that way.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, looking for that. Talking about wide barriers, there's $1.50 chance in the first. It's got barrier 7 in the 7 horse race. Single bullet, guys.
There you go, $1.70 single bullet, $5.50 Radiant Choice. We've lost $6.50 Te-Amo, who looks for a like going round tonight, so you're right about the $1.50. $11 Call Me Trouble, $15 Colesberg, and long odds the other two. And we've got two horses coming out of the Magic Millions Wyong race, which was a bit speedier than this race will be. So, Call Me Trouble may be persuaded to take up the lead, given that he's up from 1,000. He showed speed at Scone on debut.
Good to see Bruce Johnson back.
And certainly Radiant Choice.
Do you remember Bruce?
Yeah. And Radiant Choice will be right there. So I thought, look, a little bit of a steadier tempo than what these horses, or what favourites come out of its last start.
Yeah, and with that too, we're going into a very wet track from a good track, and good 3. $1.50. It looks a hot horse, guys. It looks a real good horse.
Yeah, well, I wonder why his two-year-olds are going so well. They're
just maybe a bit of luck or a good prop.
Yeah, and look, it's having its first start at home, and it shaped really nicely the other day. I thought that the four's run had good merit because he actually chased the winner for most of the way, and she beat him off. And then you know, perhaps the finishers were a little touch flattered.
I'll end up tipping the favourite in number 1, but I'll be doubt. I can't imagine I'd be wanting to take the very, very short tomato sauce.
You've been burnt while we've been away.
Anyway,
he's just stuck his fingers in. And you're, oh, Jesus.
We're talking about the $1.40 Hieronymus there with the. Anyway, it's alright. I've had a bit of therapy. What price could you take this? $1.80?
Less.
God's got a moral, so moral away, Gord.
Oh, I just, you know, 1,100 to 1,200, fine. I reckon that's a positive jockey change. I have an opinion of him, Ben Mellon. Stable flying, back to home track, wide barrier, and not against anything else decent.
Not much there, is it?
Yeah, so...
Te-Amo definitely going around tonight?
Well, it's not scratched, and it's after scratching time, so it's going around tonight. And the David Payne horse, Colesberg, who's occupying 7% of the market, looks very, very slow.
Looked already to me.
So yes, look, not much there. I have it a match race, and I have them closer together than the market.
Let's move on to race 2.
Race 2, surprise favourite for me here. Redouble, $2.90, $4.50 First Approval, $4.60 France, $8.50 Sellerman, $9 Arbiet Sam, $10 Jaminza, $16 Argent and $71 the despised Concessions.
Who did you have favourite, Mike? France?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks favourite too.
The map. Oh well, Arbiet Sam's your lure here. Redouble will work forward and see how I think. Argent Door Posse's up. First Approval has drawn gate 1 and sits midfield inside. France on his outside. Not sure where Solomon gets to. Yeah, look, Redouble resumed at the scene of his win and was on the winner's back all the way, and I thought was well held.
Well held. It's second up tomorrow, going up in distance. It's a Redoubt's Choice, which admittedly Francis too. A little bit of query with Redoubt's Choices in the web. They're big, heavy, top heavy horses, and everyone knows I'm looking for a small animal on a wet track, but looks lots of puff in him, doesn't it?
Seems a false favourite to me.
Right, so you haven't found him either. So we're scratching our heads here.
Well, not really. I think France just third up tomorrow. Sheen, Snowden, come back in great style.
I had first approval on top of France, but then I see the jockey bookings and I'm...
First approval's got barrier 1.
Kay McElroy's the rider of choice here, I think.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I think that
isn't Blake the rider of choice in this thing?
Well, I wouldn't have necessarily said so. Okay. To me, Kay McElroy says that number 2 is ready. He has to have multiple runners, and sometimes he wants to. It's not like he fancies one and not the other.
I was tipping 3 from 2 guys. Not much of a race.
I was pretty keen to back number 2 actually, except for the barrier, which is a big question mark, obviously. Last start, like over 1,200 metres, hit a bit of a flat spot where they put some lengths on it between about 400 and 200, and then came really strong late. Looked very impressive over the last 200 metres. That implies to me that 1,400 metres will really suit. So I was keen on that, but there's a couple of question marks there. And then Cellarman, gelded, and I thought for Waller it was quite a nice trial.
Yeah, that trial caught my eye as well. And Selman, he's put in every time, as far as I'm concerned, in Sydney. Obviously, something weird happened there in Melbourne, but I'd suggest he's got a lurker's chance. And Argent Door, I thought, did a good job at his City debut, and he comes home he raced prominently. He's going to sit just behind the speed tomorrow.
And he's a Sebring, which I think Sebrings go well on the wet.
For sure.
Solomon, he also is. He's a handy horse, isn't he, Solomon? He's won $50,000 more than any other runner in this race too. The old prize money stats.
So are we stamping it as a heavy track, or are we just stamping?
No, it's just rain effect. It's murky.
And we're saying, and rails will be off.
Yeah.
But they'll ride it that way anyway, and so it's like, remember Jay Cassidy winning on Triple Honour in the Liverpool City Cup?
Yeah.
And I go there going, well, I've got this in my pocket, it's got gate 1, And there he is, Jimmy, he's like 4 off the fence from gate 1, because they're all just so wide.
Yeah.
It's mad. Anyway.
Anyone miss Jimmy? I don't miss Jimmy. Do you miss Jimmy? No. There's enough Jimmy's going around, is there? Is that the end of the show?
No, it's not the end of the show, but I really like race 2 because I'm against number 1. I'm not quite with Gord on number 2. France is solid, but I can see a chink there, and I'm suggesting 4 and 5. 6 looks a bit hollow to me, despite the blinkers on and Bowman, because I keep looking at the stuff behind it in the maiden.
I don't know what the 6 is.
The maidens that it ran in.
What are we making of the Wallace stable at the moment? I'm sort of giving it a slight negative.
Oh, definitely a slight negative at the moment.
Yeah, well look, they'll win. They're just winning less than their fair share of races.
Yeah, at the moment.
Underperforming SP. Yeah.
Right, race 3. We've got a We've got a Waller mare favourite here. Harlem Lady $3. Magic A's $4.20, $5.50 Hartling, $6 Lychia, $7.50 Rinda, $9 the 3-year-old Twist Tops, and $200 the bottom. And the fantastic part about this race is we've got 1, 3, 4, 5 all course and distance winners.
Yeah. So is it Rowinda? You said Rowinda.
Yeah, it's not a course and distance winner.
No, I'm talking about its name. It's a new thing for this year, this show. In the previous race, you called it Arbit Sam. Is it Arbit Sam?
Didn't I call it Arbit Sam?
No, I don't know if you did. We're going to be very correct
this
year. Because I'll tell you why. I can't take it anymore. I can't take it with the callers anymore. During the week, we have this. They keep calling Archangel going around. Now, I'm the most unreligious bastard that ever lived, but even I know it's Archangel. But the beauty of all beauties, and it's in this afternoon at Canberra, the absolute champion performance of the last month was a horse caught wide last start the whole way. Pikelets, Pikelets, and Pikelets down the outside. So after hearing Pikelets and Archangel, I can't take
that's
it anymore.
Australia.
It seems like you've done the form on Canberra, have you?
Hello.
Oh, look
Hello, I've been doing
it's a
some work.
busy day for you.
Anyway, Mare's
Be
race.
careful of pickles.
I've got Hartley's leading this race on its ear. Rowinda on
If
back
it gets
up
control
in-
of his
up in-
shin, doesn't it win?
Well, it went very poorly from the inside there the other day, and resented being cluttered up. It's got a great chance tomorrow. But look, the interesting part about this race for me is that we've got 2-1 number one, and it's H Bowman to the
Lee McGorian. Oh, that's nuts, isn't
Lee
it?
McGorian.
Oh, Lee McGorian, sorry.
Thank you.
Oh, I better say
Oh
it's
my
Lee
god,
McGorian.
the pronunciation, please.
I'm telling you, picklets. I nearly had a little picklet myself.
Okay, you've mentioned Hartley's Glen. Where else do you want to go?
Well, I want to go to Lucia. I know it's an absolute nonny and all that, but I'm telling you guys right now, this is a hot, wet breed. Medaglia Dioro.
And well, look, it's Jay Doyle's only ride on the card. It's weird, isn't it?
Very weird. It's fourth up tomorrow. He's going to love the sting out of the ground.
And McGilvray just put it in behind them, and I don't know where he was going the other day.
It's a horse that looks terribly exposed, but I think back to the wet tomorrow, all its form on the wet's good. I was tipping 4th and 5, and number 1 for 3rd, but like with the rider negative and the stable negative and I think it presents well, Harlem Lady, but it is 17 for 3. It's not a prolific winner.
No.
You don't want to take short odds, but
I'll take short odds.
I was interested. Obviously, the wet's a bit of a question mark here, but number 3, Magic Kaz. I thought it was a fairly decent run last start.
So uncomfortable, wasn't it?
Yeah, just uncomfortable the whole way.
But first and
even
third,
though it was a
wait and
weakish
watch
race.
radical intake. It doesn't look Saturday form.
I know. I'm totally with you there.
No, you can't win if it runs
But
up to that run.
But I'm saying its win over the 1,000 metres against Starcross first up was Saturday form.
Yeah.
The way it did it. Okay, I know Starcross isn't proved, but it was absolute
Well,
dynamite on that
it's a
particular
course
occasion.
not worry farm on the soft. It's had 3 goes at the 1400 for 3 wins.
Yeah.
Con seems to be presenting his horse as well at the moment. He's got a bit of
And what are we saying about Nick Hayward and Jay Ford? I'm giving that a slight positive as well. I think Jay Ford does a good job, and Nick Hayward isn't proven to me yet. So,
Well, I think he couldn't cope the other day because what the problem, the Magic Gaz's problem the other day was it was coming out of a red hot fast race into a dawdling race, and it couldn't cope. It needed the hit out.
Steadied off heels, head going everywhere. I think it can do something. Question mark in the wet, obviously. And then I don't know if I had enough of Heartlings.
No, I think you got to stick one more time, mate.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think you got to stick one more
I'm
time.
get a bit scared.
Twist tops tomorrow. I've got Bag Glyn to Bag Glyn or Bag Glyn to Good Glyn.
Well, forget about that. That race, that calendar race, is just
Rubbish?
a restricted sales race.
Okay, fair enough.
And I think we can. You saw how what's her face Genoto, the wheels were spinning last week.
There were two.
Yeah.
I'm 4 from 5.
And the other horse, the Hayes horse, well, it ran last. Weatherly broke down.
Weatherly died.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, twist tops none for mine, and Hartlings is J Ford to B Shen, barrier 2 to a wide draw. It's like a golden switch.
Yeah. There it is.
Obvious case, but
You need one more chance, mate.
Okay.
yeah. Look,
I'll at least say one, but it's whether I back it to win.
that's a really interesting little mares race where
I love
5 good chances.
I love moving on the next race. You love just standing there looking at
And
it.
it's just, there's so much to look at.
I know, you don't want to look back there.
Okay, highways. The highway
Let's
is over 1100 this week. $2.80 from Gate 1 Pumpkin Pie, $4.40 Chosen Prayer, $7.50 Yaznat, $11 Farah, $15 Lemming, $15 Nick Off, $17 Flash in the Dark, $18 Grand Rouge. He's back, and longer odds the others. Now this number 1 has spent most of his life at 1,000. Resumes here at 1100. I imagine it's straight on the bunny. And
Zini?
yeah, it might be actually the favourite's hope to get out because it's leading from the inside and leading well from the inside.
Okay.
Just a thought.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all that needs to happen for Pumpkin Pie to win the race.
You're saying moral?
There's a couple of question marks there. Yet again, barrier, the trainer, obviously, but we've seen this horse run sensationally with that particular trainer last preparation, so we can sort of ignore that one.
And the hot trial. What about the hot trial? They've run like that's the fastest trial I've seen at Canberra.
It was absolutely electric, but I mean, it did come third, beaten by space. And I mean, for God's sake, I mean, this thing probably should have beat Eckstein. The only time it was defeated.
Yeah. All on good tracks, though.
Yeah.
Spies Barrier won tomorrow.
Oh look, there's a couple of question marks there, but
good, isn't it?
But how many lengths better is this horse than anything else in the race?
I'd agree with that comment.
Yeah. So it's one of those vexing situations. We've got Chosen Prayer, Glenn, who Bishan rode inch perfect last start, but probably rides inch perfect again.
I agree with that.
You know one of those situations you've described before, which is PR to PR.
Well, and
goes from a benchmark 72 back to a highway. Like Modo's, it's a genuine type horse.
Well, it's your pearl mark, isn't it? Like
isn't it top pick?
Proper city stuff.
Well, it's just
bit of
it's
a
record, It's
23 for 3.
And they were 2 straight when she won a maiden at Gosford, and then went into the 1400 at Warwick Farm, and act of God, things were pulling their heads off. David Payne should have won the race.
I was tipping 2 on top. I agree with boys here with the favourite, definitely the one to beat. And Grand Ridge, I'm going to be all over it tomorrow. Short spell, 70 days, not that much. Love the wet.
Heavy, yeah.
2,000 back to 1,100. It'll get into a hole for me to collect a bit of place money, I can tell.
3 chances, I think, because I think number 1 has something. It's just, I know you look at that and you go 1,000, but it just hasn't. It's had 2 1,200 metre runs, hasn't had a chance at 1,100, and just will be out of trouble. Chosen Prayer, obvious. Pumpkin Pie, Gate 1. Snippety Sip is the only other horse I would suggest. That's race 4. We'll just knock off the big 4-horse field, race 5, and then
come on,
race
Racing
to a
New
break.
South Wales, come on, help us here. Why we got 4 horse races? Don't we have any benchmark 92 horses?
3 mares to boot. $1.90 Girls Sunday, $2.60 Imposing Lass, $9 Gold Symphony, $11 Song and Laughter, which I guess now that it's rained won't start that long.
No.
Girl Sunday leads on her ear, and Gold Symphony does the chasing, unless Imposing Lass wants to be a bit more positive than she was under Dolly first up.
One thing about Girl Sunday, just if you notice with my manning out male, she's been up top all runs Nelly, and she just parades well and does well. Looks to get control here. J.N.S. Jr. It's hard to imagine getting beat.
Tomorrow.
What do you think?
I got 4 on top, Imposing Lass.
Right.
I'm going. Yeah, sure. Probably more because it's a match race, isn't it? So I'm going even money you pick those 2 horses, and I'm getting 260 about Imposing Lass. That's it.
But it's not
That's
really
what I
a
think
match race. There are 2 other runners.
No, they're not.
What's Song and Laughter's no price? Is that what you're saying?
Well, depends on how heavy it is, but if we're going on it just being sloppy, then that's not enough for Song and Laughter to come into contention.
Does race well at Warwick Farm, and you beat Imposing Lass home the other day.
Yeah, well, tell me about Imposing Lass. I thought that you strongly found it, Mark.
Yeah, I did, and it didn't participate. Took no part.
Yeah.
So that's no platform for me. It's like, what's going on? You remember how well it looked?
Looked well. Does come down 9.5 kilos.
Oh, they might try. I mean, they might be keen tomorrow. They might fancy their chances.
The big 60 down to 50.5. You gotta love that. Is that the end of the part
I'm
one?
just saying it was like another Barrow trial. I'm sort of ignoring it.
How long is September 28th? Can anyone tell me?
It's not
the day, is
well,
it?
we've turned the corner. We're in the right year now.
Yeah.
Huh?
9 months to go, boys.
Anyway, that's the 4-horse field. For mine, Girl Sunday ran her best race as preparation when beaten last start, where I gave her very little chance. Maybe that's just me. But anyway,
Gerald Ryan, 5th start.
There you go.
Preparation.
There you go.
But you've been seeing this horse parade. He just keeps the food in this horse. Don't worry about that. This is different.
She's doing it herself. That's race 5. We'll be back after this
little break from our sponsors.